Good evening. It may have taken 2 additional months and some extra planning, but we made it. Before we get started, I would like to do a brief welcome and recognize some individuals who have helped make today's ceremony a reality. Katie Perkle, my assistant and right hand, sometimes my left hand, for all of her work behind the scenes. To my teammates, Associate Principals Josh Kerr, Jessica Scher, and Jamie Kep. To Bill Surdick, Jerry Williams, Marcos Galindo, and the entire WSD maintenance staff for going above and beyond in our preparations for today. Finally, to Carol Quest and the Watertown Health Department, along with Captain Kaminsky and the Watertown Police Department. The planning and preparation of recognizing the class of 2020 in a safe manner has truly been a collaborative effort rooted in community partnerships, and I am grateful for the time and energy of all associated with facilitating tonight's ceremony. And with that in mind, let's do this. Students, it's been a long time, and I've missed you. Today is graduation day, Friday, August 14th, and it is indeed a great day to be a Gosling. As principal, it is my pleasure to welcome you as we recognize the members of the class of 2020. I have shared over and over again that graduation is my favorite event of the year, an event which our seniors have been looking forward to for quite a while. Unfortunately, the world had been dealt with a global pandemic, which delayed this day and has caused numerous other changes. Now, change can be hard, but change is how we grow. Mr. Mertens would tell you that you can't get faster by running the same distance and pace every day, just like Mr. Cashin would tell you that you can't get stronger by lifting the same weight over and over again. You need to make your body adapt to change to realize growth. And in this sense, change can successfully evoke other changes. The changes experienced by the class of 2020 over the last 4 years pale in comparison to the sense of loss experienced this past spring. None of us could have predicted that we had left school for the last time on Friday, March 13th. And I am sure that date does little to quell those of us who are superstitious. The global pandemic wiped out spring sports and activities. Third trimester courses that we were eagerly anticipating: prom, mass band, concerts, scholarship night, art walk, the last day of school, the last bell signaling the start of summer, and the list goes on and on. As frustrating and disappointing as this past spring was, this surely will not be the first time, nor will be the last, that your expectations have been unrealized. You will find that unrealized expectations will continue throughout your lives. Soon, perhaps, maybe even currently, you will find yourself in a school that you're not crazy about, a job that's unfulfilling, a program of study that no longer matches your interests, a relationship that's not rooted in love and mutual respect, or that long-awaited beach vacation in which it rains every single day. Disappointment and unrealized expectations can go hand in hand if you let them. So my advice to you is don't. Overcome unrealized expectations with resilience. As you know, resilience is our ability to adapt and bounce back when things don't go as planned. Resilient people don't wallow or dwell on challenges. They acknowledge the situation, they learn from the experience, and they move forward. In fact, according to research of leading psychologist Susan Kolbasa, there are 3 elements that are essential to resilience. The first is challenge. Resilient people view difficulty as a challenge and an opportunity for growth. The second is commitment. Resilient people are committed to their lives, their goals, their relationships, their friendships, and the causes that they care about. Personal control, and probably the most important facet here, is that resilient people spend their time and energy focusing on situations and events that they have control over. Resilient people never think of themselves as victims. They focus their time and energy on changing the things that they have control over. Class of 2020, you should have the courage to go after your dreams. Being resilient means that when you do fail or experience disappointment, you bounce back and you can move on to bigger and better things. This will be important now more than ever. Your expectations of what college, the military, or the workforce will be like may not be the same as they have been in the past, at least not right away. Our new normal may not feel very normal at all, but I'm confident that the cumulative effect of your experiences over the last 4 years have prepared you for the challenges that lie ahead. I would like to close my remarks with the following thought. Seniors, when life gets challenging in the days ahead, and it will, do yourself a favor. Own it. Don't allow yourself to be a victim of unrealized expectations. Instead, be resilient. No excuses, no justifications, no blaming, no quitting. Just pick your head up and get to work. Take ownership for your actions. Problem solve maturely. Treat others with dignity and respect. And by all means, look out for one another. Because, of course, that is the Watertown way. Thank you. At this time, I would ask that you please stand for the playing of our national anthem. You may be seated. As I mentioned before, flexibility is really important, and so you're going to notice that that is something that will be part of our ceremony today. We had a couple individuals who will not be able to attend due to the global pandemic that we are experiencing. So at this time, it is my privilege to introduce Mr. Christopher Kemp for the commencement address.
Good evening. I would like to thank the graduation committee for inviting me to speak to you today. It is an opportunity that I accept with a deep sense of honor and humility. Ms. Perkle told me to keep it under 5 minutes. All I can say is that I tried really hard. I suppose you students are expecting a joke, so let's get that over with. What's the difference between mashed potatoes and pea soup? Anybody can mash potatoes. In recent weeks, I've had the true pleasure of attending several of your graduation parties. When those invitations started showing up, I was at first conflicted. Should I go? Will it be safe? After doing some serious soul searching, hand-wringing, and general neurotic fussing, I came to the conclusion that I had to go to as many of these celebrations as I possibly could. I had to do it for you. I had to do it for healing. I had to do it for normalcy. It was one small way of helping make the world right for you. And to be sure, while I did it for you, I also did it for me. I was indeed truly comforted by once again being able to see your smiling faces and talk with you, your friends, and your families. For the rest of my life, I will remember walking into Maddie Sloan's graduation party and having Maddie greet me with a huge smile, a non-socially distanced hug, and saying simply, "Mr. Kemp, I've missed you." 5 words. 5 words. Which, given the circumstance, were the most heart-wrenching yet affirmational words a student has ever said to me. I know I speak for all of you, your family and friends, the faculty and staff of the Watertown Unified School District, and the entire community of Watertown when I say that we grieve for what happened to your final trimester. Typically, at occasions like this, I would say in closing that we will miss you as you move on to the next chapter of your life. But as a result of this recent surrealism, as Maddie so profoundly and poignantly stated, we've already missed you. And while grieving is a natural and necessary part of life, it must be part of a healing process and not the final product. I implore you, please do not let grief define this class. We must not allow COVID-19 to be the defining event for the class of 2020. You have achieved far too much. You've made too many lifetime friends. You've learned too many life lessons. You've laughed, loved, and cried too much to allow COVID to be anything more than just an antipathetic chapter in what is otherwise an amazing and beautiful book. A book, to be sure, that is still being written. It is true that yours will be a generation forevermore known, as many generations in the past have been known, as a before and after crisis generation. 20 years ago, it was 9/11. 50 years ago, it was the Civil Rights Movement and the war in Vietnam. 80 years ago, it was World War II. For my generation, it was the mullet. Thank God we recovered from it, and so too shall you. I recently read that 49% of 2020 high school graduates have changed their post-secondary plans due to the pandemic. 36% say they will now work. 32% are postponing their start date for college, and 16% have changed their career paths entirely. In many cases, that was obviously expected and unavoidable. Fear of the future has never been more palpable. Uncertainty breeds a sweltering anxiety, and pumping the brakes seems like a completely rational, albeit reflexive, response. But in as much as humanly possible and practically feasible, I ask that you please try to stay the course of your hopes and dreams. You are not fated to live as heirs to this pandemic. You are not fated at all. Though it may very well feel as if the world has suddenly become an anguishing minefield, always remember that COVID-19 is an external locus of control. In philosophy, some of you may recall, we call them externalities. And today they include, among others, the pandemic, the toxic political climate, the expectations heaped on us by the mass media and popular culture, and the utter ubiquity and often negativity of social media. All of those externalities that we cannot control, but that will serve to render us puddles of incapacitated angst if we allow them to define us. Thankfully, as human beings, we are blessed with a stronger and more inherently positive internal locus of control. That very human quality that allows us to control our fate. Machiavelli called it virtù, the ability to shape one's own destiny. Today, I'll finish by calling it something much simpler. Today, I'll call it hope. Our hope in and for you, of course, but more importantly, now more than ever, your hope in yourselves, each other, and the future. I think it's a mistake to look for hope outside of yourself. At this time of your life, in the world of today, you must use hope, your hope, as a weapon, a sword with which to defend yourself against what otherwise may seem like insurmountable barricades erected to keep your dreams at bay. Hope must be your beacon, the lighthouse of your dreams. As Aristotle so succinctly stated, hope is a waking dream. So please, take a minute and conjure up your single greatest hope in life, your dream. Take just a moment during this ceremony and allow your dream to rise to the surface of your consciousness, to wake. And then, while it's there, promise yourself that it will not fall victim to those things over which you have no control. Promise yourself. I beg of you, please find the hope within yourselves, because I know I speak for everybody in this stadium when I say you are the hope within all of us. Thank you.
I would also share that unfortunately, like Mr. Kemp, I too had a mullet, and my hope for you is that none of you ever has a mullet. It is my honor to recognize the 6 valedictorians from the class of 2020. Based upon individual schedules and so forth, these individuals may or may not be here at this time, but I'm going to recognize all 6 accordingly. Mia Ashenfelter, Brian Frank, Evelyn Marchant, Ryan Mitchell, Anna Schrader, and Cara Smith. To commemorate each of your efforts and to honor you, each of you will receive a plaque which acknowledges you as the class of 2020 valedictorian. Identical plaques will hang on our academic wall of fame located in the Commons, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Having met the academic and behavioral requirements of the faculty of Watertown High School, and on behalf of the entire faculty, I, as principal of Watertown High School, nominate and recommend these individuals from the class of 2020 to Dr. Cassandra Shug, Superintendent for the Watertown Unified School District, for graduation from Watertown High School.
Good evening. It is my great pleasure to address the graduating class of 2020 this evening. I would like to begin by recognizing our Watertown Unified School District Board of Education members who are in attendance this evening. Please rise. Doug Will, Board Clerk Paul Vanden Langenberg, Board Vice President Jennifer Bakke, and Board President Tony Arnett. This year, we are celebrating 327 graduates. And graduates, you have many accomplishments that have been a great source of pride for your family, your school, and your community. And they should be a source of great pride for you as well. This year, as Mr. Loss mentioned, we have 6 valedictorians. 38 of you have served as members of the National Honor Society. 16 of you are members of the National Technical Honor Society, and 26 of you are members of the World Language Honor Society. 16 of you are members of the National Art Society, and 30 of you are in our Tri-M Music Honor Society. 7 of you are members of the Division I State Runner-Up Academic Decathlon Team, and 3 of you have received Skills USA honors, and 1 of you, Mia Aschenfelter, is also a global scholar. While this year has presented truly unique challenges, and it is undoubtedly not how you imagined you would end your high school experiences, over the past 4 years, you have shared many positive experiences at Watertown High School, and I'd ask you to remember those as you think back on your experience here. You have participated in student council, spoken at Rotary, performed in plays, musicals, band, choral, and orchestra concerts. You have competed and performed at the regional, state, and sometimes even the national level in co-curricular activities and athletics. You have been recipients of hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to continue your education. You have traveled the world, from Europe to the Galapagos Islands, and you have logged hundreds of volunteer hours and given back to your community. 43 of you are graduating with honors today. 40 of you will graduate with high honors, and 38 are graduating with honors with distinction. Those students achieved a grade point average of 3.8 or higher. Congratulations. Several members of your class have made the decision to serve our country as a part of our armed forces. If we have any graduates in attendance that have made the choice to serve in our military, please stand at this time to be recognized. We know that some of our students have had to leave before our graduation date today to begin their basic training. Please know we recognize all of our students, presence or not, for the choice to serve. At this time, if we have any family members who are here today who have served in the military or are first responders, please stand to be recognized. Your service is appreciated, and first responders, we know you have been especially tasked during this pandemic, and we thank you sincerely for the work you do to keep us all safe. Congratulations, graduates, on your past successes. You have faced extraordinary circumstances. Use those experiences to create a new definition of what is possible for you. Take on the seemingly impossible challenges that you may face. Surround yourself with your loved ones. Find work that is impactful and fulfilling. So again, Goslings, congratulations on your past successes. Your congratulations are well-deserved. But more important, I cannot wait to see and celebrate your future successes, because graduation is the end of something, but more importantly, it is the start to something new. Board President Mr. Arnett, and other distinguished members of the Board of Education. The students before us this evening have completed the requirements for a Watertown High School diploma as set forth by the Board of Education in the state of Wisconsin. As Superintendent of Schools and on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, it is my great and sincere pleasure to present to you the graduates of the Watertown High School class of 2020. Mr. Kerr will now recognize our graduates.
Eric Carl Finman, honors with distinction. Austin M. Fuchs, high honors. Bruce J. Dowdy, high honors. Megan E. Geezy. Lindsay Elizabeth Grodelucian, honors. Serena May Blase, honors with distinction. Cassandra Marie Frenzel, high honors. Paige A. Devers, honors. Courtney Naomi Cowcutt, honors with distinction. Cameron DeWitt. Kevin Herrera. Jacob J. Krogan, high honors. Ethan Andrew Bowman. Emmanuel Gonzalez Espino. Devrin G. Almanza. Thais Esquivel. Brody A. Bachman. Colby R. Kramer. Gavin G. L. Balistreri. Miklo E. Calderon Perez. Caitlin Flanagan. Juliana May Douglas. Melanie L. Bristol. Allison K. Bristol. Bryce Jordan Cooper. Emilia Buska, honors. Cole Heffler. Mackenzie H. Christensen. Alexis S. Kyrez. Nathan Doherty, high honors. Jacob Andrew Fisher, high honors. Daniel Zachary Deneau, honors with distinction. Peyton C. Fultz. Jaden R. Blasing, honors. Leah Trella, honors. Caitlin Michaela Geezy. Dalton L. Galecki, honors. Garion K. Bilkey. Damian A. Chigoya. Madeline R. Hammond, high honors. Marissa Haynes, honors with distinction. Leanne J. Harshbarger, honors. Elena Brusky, high honors. Rachel C. Howe. Andrea Lee Ann Carey. Amanda Pearl Grodelution, high honors. Joshua DeGrave, honors. Lance R. Blasing, honors. Quentin Arthur Gromowski, honors. Denali Bruce, honors with distinction. Jaden L. Gerstner. Samantha L. Burkholtz, high honors. Carly L. Hyman, honors. Paige Baki, honors. Caitlin M. Hanley, high honors. Elena Lorraine Clark, honors with distinction. Jillian Lee Hesse, high honors. Josie M. Hansen. Carson P. Baronic. Shiamora Hernandez Rodriguez. Isabel L. Day, honors with distinction. Luis Donaldo Hernandez. Natalie K. Christian. Bryson Curtis Clark, honors. Grace Allen Bowman, honors. In addition to our graduates present today, the class of 2020 also includes the following graduates who were not able to attend the ceremony today. I will read their names now. Allison L. Almendarez. Rebecca A. Anderson, honors with distinction. Matthew J. Arnold. Mia L. Ashenfelter, honors with distinction, valedictorian. Hannah J. Bannock, honors with distinction. Joshua Beck. Jason Ray Bailing. Logan Thomas Berg. Drew Allen Betchler, honors with distinction. Jacoby Bowling, honors. Christian Burgart. Jason C. Burgett. Ruben Campuzano Alviar. Jose M. Carvile. Kim Selumans, high honors. Yun Tian Chen. Amber R. Choinsky. Alexander Coughlin, honors with distinction. Hunter A. Dickut. Logan A. Dickut. Andrew J. Dornick. Michaela Lee Dewar. Olivia Durand. Alex Gregory Edwards. Morgan Victoria Ellsworth, honors with distinction. Courtney M. Finn. Alexander J. Fisher. Brian J. Frank, honors with distinction, valedictorian. Alex M. Fromgen. Kennedy E. Gaines. Pandora Galicia. Christian Garcia. Jocelyn Gelfie. Samantha Bell Gray, honors. Tanya Guzman. Riley E. Hosh, high honors. Yi Pitzai Michael Hang, high honors. Declan Joseph Healy. Dylan T. Hesse. Matthew Higgins. Haley A. Hockett. Piper Genevieve Hodgett. Brianna Catherine Heffler. At this time, will the graduating class of 2020 please join me in the tradition of turning your tassel to recognize that you have received your diploma and are officially Watertown High School graduates. Please move your tassel from right to left.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Riley Capel for the farewell address.
Well, here we are, all in one spot, together for one last time. Tonight is about us. Tonight, we reflect on our past 12 years of education, the late night cram before a test, the countless hours of studying, the good times we spent with friends, our first day of high school, and so much more. We've looked forward to this day for as long as we can remember, and now we're finally here. We started off senior year just as we expected, our last year in high school, making memories with the people that we care about, having fun and planning for our future. But as we know better than anyone else, these things were taken from us in an instant. We had our last day of high school without even knowing it. Overnight, we lost our teachers, our classroom, our prom, our last season on the field, state competitions, and countless other things. However, we did not let this stop us. We are still seniors. This is still our moment. During these hard times, we demonstrated that we are innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers. From living room proms to FaceTiming friends, we proved that if we can overcome a global pandemic, we can overcome anything. That is exactly what this world needs right now. Hardworking, determined individuals that will stand up for the greater good. However, these traits did not start here. This has been 18 years in the making. We were born into a world freshly scared, confused, and hurt by the 9/11 attacks. We have never known our country when it hasn't been at war overseas. We grew up fearing that if we enter a movie theater, concert, or school, we could leave with bullet wounds. We have watched our country learn these lessons time after time, and yet they continue to happen. We have watched the many classes before us graduate and have their moment, but our moment was instantly stopped by an invisible enemy. We may have shown confusion and stress initially, but in the back of our head, we knew that we were made for this. One day, we were just average high school students, and the next, we were essential workers on the front lines of a global pandemic. Put that on your resume. We managed 3 months of schoolwork, our jobs, friends, families, and communities from the comfort of our own homes. We have helped change the definition of the word hero. We know that real heroes don't wear capes, and now we get to go be heroes. I'm standing here in front of future doctors, lawyers, soldiers, police officers, firefighters, paramedics, teachers, politicians, scientists, and the list continues. We are the world's future leaders. When I think of the class of 2020, I'm reminded of a quote from an author that we all love. In his book, The Lorax, Dr. Seuss wrote this: "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not." This is our anthem. We have shown that if they don't change the world for us, we will change the world for them. We know that in this world, it takes all kinds of kinds. We have and will continue to push forward. Every generation has their defining moment, yet our generation doesn't let these moments define us. We learn something from it and then prepare for the next big thing. We continue to go through collective experiences that will only leave a mark on us. We know the power of a movement led by an entire generation because we are that generation. We will leave a mark on this world. We will be the defining generation. We will not define these moments by what we lost. We will define them by how we handle and overcome them. Now, you probably won't remember me or my speech in 10 years, but you will never forget these significant events. The world is ours now, so let's show them what we got. The world has changed, and we will determine how we will move on. We will forever hold on to the many hardships, memories, and laughs that we have experienced, and we look forward to many more. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that we will face whatever comes our way head on, and we won't back down. We are only entering into adulthood, and we already know this. We are taking charge of our own lives, deciding what is important to us, what our political beliefs are, who we want to spend the rest of our lives with, and so much more. The future is no longer promised, so we must make, break, and form traditions. This pandemic has taught us that we cannot stand divided. We need to listen to others, respect everyone, give people their personal space. Never forget to connect with the people that we care about. Reflect and don't take things for granted. We may have to mask our face, but we cannot mask our determination. These are lessons that we won't soon forget. The world will not let us forget, because the entire world is watching the class of 2020. Whether we like it or not, we are the chosen ones. We must and have accepted the unknown. We might not have all the answers, and the future may be uncertain, but we are ready for anything. We know it, our community knows it, our country knows it, and our world knows it. Now go. Go and build your future. Thank your teachers and mentors. Make the world a better place, and never forget where you came from. And always remember that unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Now, graduates, at this time, I ask that you stand, turn, and face the audience. Friends and family, it is my great honor to present to you the Watertown High School graduating class of 2020. Thank you all for coming. Audience members, please remain in your seats until the graduates have left the stadium.